Hi, and welcome back to your video homework. What we're going to be talking about today are the characteristics of life. What separates us from rocks? Get ready to go. So, why, first of all, do we call it even biology? Well, bio means life, and ology is the study of. So, biology is pretty much the study of life. If it's not alive, we're not going to study it. So, we don't study rocks, we don't study space, and we don't study office supplies and things like that. Okay, so it might seem pretty simple up front, but I just wanted to make sure that we had covered all of our bases, that biology is the study of life. Changing the slide, 3, 2, 1. So, if something's alive, how can we actually make sure that it's alive? Okay, we have 7 basic characteristics that we're going to use to help us determine if something's alive. First of all, it has to be made up of cells. The cell is the basic unit of life. So cellular organization, being organized of cells, is going to be one of the characteristics. We're also going to use evolution as a characteristic. Have we seen that something has evolved through time? Do we have fossil records of something that's similar living before it? We're going to study evolution as a unit all in itself in a couple of months. So that is one of the characteristics. Heredity. And what we mean by heredity is it able to pass on its genetics to future offspring? Can you see that traits are passed from generation to generation? Is there a pattern? Does it skip? Okay. Reproduction. Is it able to make babies? Is it able to copy itself? Okay. If it can't reproduce, it's not alive. Homeostasis. And we're going to talk about homeostasis a lot this year. Homeo means the same. Stasis is like state of being. So if something is able to maintain homeostasis, it's able to maintain a small range of conditions inside of itself that makes it possible for it to live. Interdependence. Okay, interdependence means that there are certain things working together to ensure that that thing is alive, as well as that thing working with other living things to ensure that what's around it is living. Interdependence is a pretty big deal. We have a whole unit dedicated to it as well. Metabolism. Okay, metabolism is that ability to intake organic material like food and turn it into chemical energy and actually do actions with that energy. So it's all about maintaining, consuming, and using energy. Changing the slide in 3, 2, 1. So what do we mean again by cellular organization? It's all fine and dandy to say that, oh, you have to be made up of cells to be considered living. But what we really need to establish here at the beginning is that all living things are composed of cells, but not all cells are the same. We have 2 types of cells that any cell is going to fall into one of these categories. Okay, we have eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are complex cells that have a nucleus. The word eukaryotic actually means a good or true nucleus. Okay, kernel is what we use to reference to that nucleus when you're looking down here at how the word breaks down. Prokaryotic cells are simple cells. They're simple cellular organisms that have no nucleus. Pro actually means before, and so again, we're talking about something that was before the nucleus. Okay, so those are prokaryotic cells. You can see a diagram of them here and here. Changing the slide, 3, 2, 1. One thing that every living thing has in common is that it's going to share the same type of genetic code. DNA is universal among all organisms, and we're going to talk about DNA a lot this year. So you just need to understand that you have DNA, a mushroom has DNA, the trees outside, the bacteria in your stomach, everything has DNA. And that genetic code is universal among all of us. Changing the slide, 3, 2, 1. So, how does life manage itself though? I mean, it's, okay, we're alive, great. How do we stay alive? How do we work together to continue to be alive? How do we pass on all of those, life characteristics that we just talked about? So that's when that interdependence of systems comes into play. Inter means between, among, or mutually, and to depend is to rely on support. So these are things that are going to support by relying on, between, and among different things. So complex systems that have specialized parts which function to define and sustain life. Okay, this is going to occur on both the micro, the small scale, as well as the macro, which is the big scale. Okay, we're going to talk about this more as the year goes on. Changing the slide. 3, 2, 1. All right, you've hit the end of the notes for this unit on characteristics of life. This is my bibliography. This is where I got several of my images from. And if you have any questions, please jot them down. Go back, listen to this video again, take good notes, come to class prepared and ready to discuss. One thing you're going to learn is that every single one of my videos ends with a joke. How does Juliet maintain a constant body temperature? Homeostasis.